Hey, 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 let's talk about your growth and the fear that you might have that if you grow and evolve and do all of this great inner work, that you might outgrow your husband. And I say very specifically your husband because I've been working with people for over 20 years now in a variety of capacities in their relationships. And I have yet to hear that from someone who's in a same-sex relationship. So that's just my experience. That may not be yours if you're in a same-sex relationship. It may be that you have that fear, but I tend to hear that fear from women who are married to men. So that's my experience. That's what I'm going to talk about. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jenny Glick. Thanks for being here. I'm a relationship mentor for women really who are in this moment of what I think of nowadays as midlife awakening. I have a history of being a therapist, a sex therapist, couples therapist. I've been doing all of that in a traditional sense. And now I get to work the way that I want in the way that I know works best, which is so amazing, right? The last 4 or 5 years has given me the opportunity to really step out and do what I love to do with women like you. So let's talk about this thing called fear. And fear is a prison that you put yourself in. Fear is a cage that you're sitting in, and there's the door, and it's actually open. You could just push it open. And if it is locked, you have the key. It's called your choice. However, what so many of us are practiced and very trained at doing is staying in our own created cage of fear. And we tell ourselves all of the reasons why we can't fill in the blank. I can't, have the kind of money I want. I can't say those things to my husband or my partner. I can't have the life that I want to have because I can't move from this house or this town or whatever it might be. And every belief that you have, it's like a bar on that cage that you have put yourself in. And I don't say this in a blame way. I say it because until we recognize that it's our job to have radical accountability for all parts of our lives, what happens is we sit in a cage during our 20s, our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, and beyond. And we describe every bar in that cage. You probably know people, if you don't do this, you know people who say, well, I can't do this because of this bar that keeps me in, because everybody in my family has depression and I have depression too. I can't change this because if I say this to my husband, he'll get mad. There's a bar. Does that make sense? So we construct our own bars in our own cage, in our own prison around us. And then we look at them and say, see, this is why I can't do what it is that I want to do. And then we invite other people to validate those bars as well. We invite other people to say, isn't that true? If I ask for a raise, if I step out on my dream career, if I follow my heart and make quilts and sell them on Etsy, if I, whatever the thing is, then people won't like me. I won't belong. It's not possible, right? All of those things. And so those belief systems that you all have, that all of us have, either liberate us or they keep us in a prison. And our prisons are what we create for ourselves. And I say this with so much love and compassion because I know that everybody has different life circumstances, right? And those things are real. They are the real obstacle course that you are in this time around in your life that you get to, not need to and not have to, but that you get to learn how to navigate through, how to pivot, how to jump, how to get coaching on. How do I get over this particular obstacle? I'm not sure what to do here. So you ask for help, right? So all of us have different obstacles in our lives, and we get to get super creative about maneuvering ourselves through those obstacles in order to have the life that we want. I believe that we are souls, human spirits, having these human experiences here on this planet, and that we are divinity incarnate. which means we are here to create. We are co-creators. We are here to create cupcakes. We are here to create connection, to create families, to create art, to create beauty, to create all kinds of things in our lives. And that the only limit to our creation in this world is the prison that we put ourselves in, which is 100% dictated by the bars, the beliefs that I say are real, right? I say that they're real. And I've had thousands of those bars myself, and I've spent a lifetime working with different mentors, coaches, therapists, healers, spiritual gurus, all kinds of things in order to help show up what those bars are. I'm going to come back to the main point of this video, which is those of you, I'm talking to you right now, if you're a woman and you're in a relationship with a man and your prison that you've created is if you grow, if you heal, if you ascend, if you do your spiritual work, if you really own who you are, he's going to leave or it's going to ruin your marriage. Because that's a real fear. And that's a fear that a lot of women tell me that they have. So it's normal and it's real. Because when you fully become who it is that knocking in your heart is telling you to become, and it's telling you to become it because you're like, oh, I really want to say this, or I really want to invite my partner to do this thing, or I really don't agree with this particular thing that we're talking about, but I'm pretending like I do agree so that he doesn't get mad or my family doesn't get mad, right? Whatever that thing is in your being that you feel like you're wrestling with, it's in you and coming out of you because it's yours to do or be. Are you following me? So I have a client who's an architect. She loves it. She's amazing at it. That's her thing. That's her thing because it's in her being to do that and to be that and to design things. That's not my thing. I know it's not my thing because I don't care about that. It is not in my heart. My thing is the thing that I'm doing that lights me up. And it's scary sometimes, less so now because I've been doing it longer. But saying what I want to say here can feel scary because some of you might not like me, right? And we have to come to a place. Well, we don't have to. You can, if you want, come to a place in your life where you recognize that the more you own who you are, the more likely it is that other people won't like you or might be offended. But here's the thing. The people who have judgment about you or who are offended are probably relationships that you're outgrowing. Because I'm not exactly like everybody who I hang out with. We're different. And that's beautiful. And we also practice not being codependent, which means they can be different from me and I can be different from them. And we can thrive in an ecosystem together because we don't have to be same in order for us to be friends or a family or in relationship, right? That's a rogue concept for a lot of people. And so if you find yourself in a place where you're scared or nervous or worried about becoming who it is that you want to be, because you might isolate yourself from your partner or they might leave, I get it. I get it. That's real. And it's why it is that it can be incredibly valuable to be in a container with other women who are practicing fully being who they are without being a bitch. It's not about making anybody else wrong, but it is about coming into deep sacred alignment with who you are and what it is that is yours to express while you're here in this life. So a lot of women come and work with me because they don't have the kind of emotional, intimate, or spiritual connection with their partner. And they really want that. They really want that. And where they get stuck is they really want it, but then they don't really want to have to say it to their partner or bring it up or do the things that will agitate the system enough to change. And the truth is, the system has to change. And that means you get to. And you get to come nose to nose, face to face with your shadow, with the parts of you that say, oh my gosh, you can't say this. Oh my gosh, if you speak this out loud, what will happen? And that's where growth happens, right? And it's not for everyone, which is totally fine. It's not my job to tell anybody to stay in a marriage or not stay in a marriage. It is my great good service and invitation for a handful of women to walk them over that bridge of where they are to where it is that they want to be by them listening to themselves. So in September, I'll be opening the Sacred Self-Trust Salon again for those of you who are interested in stepping in to that process. And it's an incredibly gentle process of being with yourself and listening to your own knowing. You know, the times are gone where it's about me telling you what to do. You don't need to look outside of yourself to find out what to do. It's learning how to trust what you already know that you've silenced for a really long time. So if you're a woman who does want things to be different in your marriage and you are afraid that your husband will leave, I get it. And the answer is probably less about you walking into the kitchen and telling him, you know, this is how it's going to be, and more about you listening and honoring to that small, quiet voice inside of you just a little bit more and showing up just a little bit more like yourself every single day, these micro expressions of yourself, and to allow the organic shifting of the system that maybe you've been in, the system of your marriage, for decades. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. You're not alone if you're a woman who's afraid to do that big growth work and you're in midlife, especially. A lot of us are waking up in new ways and we want to be full expressions of ourselves. And the salons that I have right now for women are for just that, so that you can really step into that. If you're not on my email list, I'm going to put a link to my email list, because then you will get first invitation when that salon opens in September. I would love for you to #replay if you're watching this on replay. Let me know your takeaways. Let me know any questions. Let me know if you don't agree with me. That's fine too, because we're not codependent in this space. You don't have to agree with me, and that's totally fine. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.